Hey beer tubers, Ryan back with another episode of San Diego Beer Vlog. Thanks for joining me. Today I have a Green Flash beer. It's been a long time since I've had this one. This is their Imperial India Pale Ale. If you might know something different about this is actually the new label that they have. It's now a bright kind of golden label on it. So if you see something without this label, it's probably pretty old by now. This is a big Imperial IPA, 9.4%. And what's interesting about this one is not using typical West Coast hop varieties in it. They're using Nugget and Summit hops. Something that you would usually see more on the East Coast. But Trader Joe's has started carrying, well, at least a few months now, started carrying Green Flash beers. They do 4-packs of Hophead Red, West Coast, and their Double Stout. And then I finally saw this one, the Imperial, for sale there. So I think it's probably a pretty fresh beer, plus it's the new label. I think all these new label beers are actually been produced at their new location in Mira Mesa. So, oh wow, look at the head on that one. That is really nice. 3 fingers. Just a real nice deep golden color, kind of borderline orange. I can already smell it from here, but we'll get my nose in there in a bit. But it's a light kind of off-white head, slight yellow tinges. But let's give it a sniff. Oh yeah, that smells great. I mean, I don't know if they use only Nugget in Summit, but I am picking up some mild kind of citrus notes. Definitely some spice in there. Kind of nice earthiness to it as well. Definitely has some pungent kind of resiny character. Not quite maybe as big as, say, like Columbus, but it's kind of in there. Little tinges of like orange in there, like sweeter orange. So yeah, I can't really pick up any malt in this thing at all. It's just big time hops on the aroma. So let's dig into this one. It smells really, really fresh. So cheers. Oh, wow, yeah. Talk about a hop forward Imperial IPA for 9.4%. Wow, that's borderline palate wrecking, really. That is, I mean, this is a very, very fresh bottle. I can absolutely tell. I mean, just a ton of hops up front. It doesn't quite follow the nose. The nose sort of has, I mean, it has some, but it's not a lot. But I mean, big time pine notes for me up front, like flavor-wise. Just big, huge pine notes, kind of underlined by some big kind of resiny notes and earthy notes to it as well. It has that big pungent bitterness up front that you expect with like a San Diego Pale Ale, but flavor-wise, it doesn't quite have that grapefruit citrusy note to it. So that kind of is a bit out of the box, so to speak, with some of the other beers that you see around here in terms of like big hop-forward beers. But man, I mean, you're blasted hops front of the palate, mid palate, end of the palate. They're like still lingering in there. I've had this out of the fridge maybe like 15 minutes now, so I'm not drinking it super cold. Not really picking a whole lot of malt up right now, but let me give it a few more sips. Once your palate kind of gets used to that bitterness, you just start to pick up some sort of sweet bready notes underlying the hot bitterness in the back end. It sort of helps kind of come to balance things out, but this is definitely not a balanced beer. It's very aggressive hopped IPA. So to get 9.4% and this much hops, I'm guessing they might have do a lot of sugar additions maybe to up the ABV up to 9.4%, because body-wise it's just sort of kind of just maybe straight medium light body. Yeah, I'd go medium light on it. Doesn't have big kind of sweeter hop malt notes in there, kind of like some double IPAs. They'll try to have a real nice kind of malt backbone to kind of balance things out. This thing does not balance out at all. It's very light body. It's very smooth drinking though too. So with this one, I think it comes down to is how hoppy and how bitter do you like your IPAs. If you like a more balanced, or particularly double IPAs, Imperial IPAs, because this thing's not balanced. And I know a lot of people that are like, well, they like their double IPAs to be balanced and maybe their regular IPAs to be more aggressively hopped. This one is just very aggressive, so depending on how much you like that big bitterness might play in a factor how drinkable it is. But I mean, it's like 9.4%. You can't smell it. You can't taste any of the alcohol in there. It's really smooth to drink. It's got a nice medium light mouthfeel. It's just how much do you like that big pungent hop notes on there. So for me, hop variety wise, not my favorites. I do kind of prefer like the big C's and some of those like kiwi hops, kind of add some interesting like fruity or citrusy elements to it. So I mean, the profile on this one is not quite where I'd like it, but I mean, this is complete personal opinion. I'm gonna go with A- on this thing. I mean, one of these might just ruin, I mean, a whole bomber of this is probably going to ruin my palate for like hoppy beers probably the rest of the day. It's so potent. So, I mean, it's so awesome. It's so excellent in how it's brewed and executed. It's a great example when you get this thing fresh of, you know, just how hop forward San Diego pale ales can be. And so, I mean, this is so hop forward. It's just unbelievable. It's just almost ruining my palate almost as much as their palate record beer, which they're going to bring to bottles soon, if not already. But I'll try to get a bottle of that and review it. That is even more intense than this one, and about the same ABV as well. So I'm going to give an A- to Green Flash's Imperial India Pale Ale. Really great example of a very, very hop forward bitter San Diego beer. Try to get it fresh if you can. Make sure it at least has the yellow label these days. So that's going to wrap it up for this review. Until next time, please comment and subscribe. Cheers.